Yeah, put a nigga back to the record, baby, and give me this right now.
Yo, what is going on, guys, and welcome back to Two Daddy Gaming. Today we're here with Project Cars. We're doing the Silverstone hot laps. So I did this online the other day, and I've had quite a few requests actually to come back to this track and actually see what sort of times I could be getting round in the higher end of the actual supercars, sports cars, and everyday cars. So we're starting it off with the Nissan GTR. This car is a four-wheel drive, absolute mean machine. This car does seem to suffer with some understeer, so you have to counteract that by using a bit more throttle, trying to get the back end to kick out. So we've been starting all the videos off at the same points. Obviously I'm doing the full GP circuit, but just because I don't want these videos to be so long, I'm starting the video from about 1 minute 30 around the track, so you don't have to see all the boring bits, you just see the main part of the tracks where the cars can make or break. So like I said, this one's the Nissan GTR. It's four-wheel drive, loads of horsepower, loads of torque, but the understeer can be a problem. You see it's nose diving into the corners, so you have to use more throttle than you actually really need to get the back out. So here we're coming up to the end of the lap, so we managed to get round in a pretty decent time. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty decent. So 2 minutes 17.23 seconds, which is not bad. It's not bad, considering the amount of understeer that you actually get with this GTR. So I think that's a pretty decent time, 2 minutes 17. So the next car, here we go. So we have the Jaguar F-Type. This is quite possibly one of my favourite cars of the game, but understeer once again, locks up on the brakes. There you can see on there, I actually dipped a tyre or two on the actual grass, which may be drifting the corner. But I will be doing this car again, but this is a very quick flying lap. So I am using a standard setup on all of these cars. I'm using full simulation mode, so no ABS, no traction control, no stability control, no driving line, and manual with clutch when there is a clutch available. This car sounds like an absolute Spitfire. It's beautiful, it gives me goosebumps, but unfortunately it is like a boat. The suspension's too soft, the power is amazing. When you actually get the car to slow down and turn in, it has a decent amount of grip, but once again you've got to use the throttle to get the back end to kick out for it to actually steer. So we're coming into the final sections of the lap now at Silverstone. Once again you can see understeering, so I have to use the throttle to get it out. Once again drifting just so I can actually get this thing to turn. But if we could actually sort out a suspension setup on this, I think this would be an absolute mean machine. It's 2 minutes 22.334 for the Jaguar F-Type. Now we're up with the Audi R8. Now this one was so fun to drive. It was planted, it was very well stable, had amazing power, amazing brakes. The brakes were probably the best of the ones I've actually tested today. The inside was nice. You got a nice seating position. I found with the Nissan GTR, the seating position was quite off from the steering wheel, which sometimes it put me off through the corners. But this one's a nice, fun car to throw around. It's got the power, it's got the acceleration, it's got the handling. The brakes, like I said, they're absolutely insane. It's very stable. But initially, I did think this was going to be one of the lower, actually, of the time on the leaderboards. Only because it doesn't feel like you're going as fast as, say, for instance, the F-Type, the GTR, and some of the other cars that I have been testing, who cut a corner ever so slightly, which actually messed me up for this corner here, because I actually got dirt or mud on the tyres, which made me go into a bit wider than normal. So we did lose a few seconds there, and if it wasn't for that, I reckon this could have been the fastest track, but the fastest car on this track, on our little leaderboard that we're going to be creating. So we're coming up to the end of the lap on this one, and we're done a 2 minutes 17.232. So I definitely reckon that could have been in the earlies 2:16s if it wasn't for the first, for that little mess up near the end. So 2 minutes 17 seconds .232 is not a bad time for the car, and I'm quite happy with it. So we're coming up now to the McLaren. This thing here, you have to brake a lot earlier than you normally do with most of the vehicles. You have to brake at least 15 meters. Yeah, I would say 15 meters before you normally would, because the brakes are horrendous. Handling wise though, it handles well, accelerates well, decent top speed, but it is just the brakes. You've got a really good seating position in this vehicle. Normally, like the GTR, I think I said this earlier, but the GTR, you're slightly off centre. So say for instance, behind the actual wheel, you're just to the left of it. But this one is spot on. You get a real good seating position, real good lap times in with this one. I thought this was going to be one of the slower ones. So you kind of get used to being at that set speed, but you can see here I'm braking a lot earlier than I did in the GTR, in the Audi R8, and in the F-Type. So we're coming up towards the end of the lap now. I honestly thought this car was going to be a fairly decent, quick car. But like I said, the brakes, it put me off massively. It didn't give me the confidence. It just put it in the back of it. But we hit a 2 minutes 16.666. You can tell I'm happy by that lap time, by the little show off I do at the end. 2 minutes 16.666. Absolute beast of a car. Now we got a special one for you. I don't normally drive this car, but I thought we're going to give you 4 normal cars, and then we're going to give you some crazy special car. This thing, oh my god, I couldn't believe the initial grip that this thing had. Well, I did absolutely destroy my tyres within a few laps driving it like this, but it was so fun. I got round on this Formula 1 car, round Silverstone, in 1 minute, yes, 1 minute, 43.264 seconds, which is absolutely incredible. Even though I did do a little spin out at the end, which probably cost me 2 seconds, but that is still an absolutely incredible time, considering the McLaren just went round in 2 minutes 16.666. We're going to call it the devil car from now on, so 2 minutes 16.666, which is absolutely incredible. So if you like the series, make sure you do give it a thumbs up. If you like the channel, do subscribe. Until next time guys, toodle pip.